Have you ever walked into a room and felt its subtle, almost imperceptible shift in energy that makes people pause, even if they don't know why? The tiny, electric moment when everyone senses you before you've even spoken, before your smile touches your lips, and you realize in that instant, power doesn't need a voice. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need applause. It simply exists. And when a woman owns this, when she truly understands that her aura is not decoration, but influence, she becomes untouchable, irresistible, and quietly commanding in every way. And I want you to feel that as I speak to you now, because this is the moment where ordinary presence ends and mastery begins. And I promise you it will change everything about how you move through the world, how men perceive you, how women respect you, and most importantly, how you feel about yourself. Because there is nothing more intoxicating than stepping into a space and realizing the room bends subtly around your energy. Not because you demand it, not because you flaunt it, but because you emanate it. Naturally, effortlessly, luxuriously. And the first secret is understanding that this auraeth invisible magnet that men feel and cannot explain is rooted in psychology, in subtle dominance, in knowing the value of every pause, every glance, every breath. And I remember vividly one evening, golden sunlight spilling across a terrace in Manhattan, the kind of place where people are used to luxury, but not used to a woman moving through space like she owns the air itself. And I watched a man across the room straighten slightly, subconsciously orient his body toward me, eyes tracing the subtle arc of my movement. And even though he never spoke, I knew he was registering something far beyond beauty, far beyond style, far beyond charm. Was sensing presence, aura, authority. And the fascinating part is that he couldn't explain it, and he couldn't name it. And that is precisely what gives this energy its power, because it operates beneath words, beneath rational thought, beneath expectation. And women who cultivate it never need to explain themselves, never need to justify, and never need to chase. And I want you to internalize that, because the minute you understand this, your entire perception of relationships, of social dynamics, and of personal power shifts. And this is why I want you to comment below your biggest takeaway. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications. Because aura is not an abstract concept, it is a practical tool, a psychological weapon, and a subtle form of influence that can change your life if you wield it consciously and deliberately. And let me show you exactly how it works in the way that only an elite, high-value woman can understand. The second layer of mastery is posture, cadence, and choice. Posture, not as a superficial statement of elegance, but as a declaration of ownership over your space, letting your shoulders relax but your spine extend as though the world itself acknowledges your presence. Walking with a rhythm that is neither hurried nor hesitant, and a cadence in speech that draws attention effortlessly, not with volume, but with the seductive flow of intention, the kind that makes every word land with a subtle, almost hypnotic impact. And I've tested this countless times in luxury settings, intimate gatherings, and everyday encounters. And I've noticed the same pattern. Men are drawn not to what you say, but to the pauses between your words, to the weight of your glance, to the invisible architecture of your confidence. And women are inspired not by imitation, but by witnessing authenticity and self-mastery. And this is the essence of what philosophers and psychologists have always hinted at, but never fully codified. Aristotle said that excellence is an art won by training and habituation. And what I'm telling you is that aura is excellence made visible without effort, because it is a state of being, a habitual presence that signals power before explanation, influence before insistence, and respect before permission. And I want you to visualize this as you move through your own very doorway you enter. Every table you approach, every conversation you engage in is not merely a social interaction, but an opportunity to radiate authority, charm, and subtle dominance. And it works on both men and women simultaneously, because the aura signals self-possession, it signals unshakable confidence, and it signals a woman who values herself enough that her energy alone sets the terms of engagement. And when you fully internalize this, you will notice a transformation not only in how others respond to you, but in how you respond to yourself, how you make decisions, how you invest your attention, and how you choose the people, spaces, and experiences that deserve your energy. And as you reflect on this, take a moment to comment your thoughts, to affirm your commitment, because subtle influence, magnetic energy, and aura mastery are not passive. They require conscious, daily cultivation. And I promise you, the moment you adopt this mindset, you will feel unstoppable, magnetic, and deeply aligned with the woman you were always meant to be. And the final, and perhaps most transformative secret, is how aura intersects with desire, attraction, and influence in ways that are completely subconscious, yet entirely observable once you learn the signs. Because men and women alike respond to subtle cues of energy, not always to overt beauty, wealth, or status. And I want you to understand that your aura is the sum of everything you project. Your calm confidence, your intentional movements, your selective engagement, and your inner mastery. And when this is combined with a deep understanding of human psychology's subtle art of giving attention sparingly, of withdrawing gracefully, of owning your space unapologetically, you create a gravitational field that is as elegant as it is powerful. And I have personally seen women shift entire rooms with nothing more than a poised entrance, a soft smile, and a gaze that communicates curiosity, power, and quiet dominance simultaneously. And the fascinating part is that while this energy is immediately felt, it cannot be dissected, explained, or replicated easily, which is why it is so coveted and why women who learn this rarely return to ordinary interaction. And they never settle for mediocrity. And I want you to feel that intoxicating realization as you listen to me now. Because this is not fantasy, it is psychology, philosophy, and luxury lifestyle combined. And it is fully attainable once you understand the mechanics, the subtle hacks, and the mindset. And when you do, you will notice men leaning in without asking, women admiring without judgment, and your own reflection showing a quiet, unshakable authority. And I want you to subscribe, comment your biggest insight, and turn on notifications so you can fully integrate these lessons. Because aura mastery is cumulative, cinematic, and life-changing. And when applied consistently, it will make you the kind of woman who doesn't ask for recognition. Because recognition comes naturally, inevitably, and beautifully. And I promise you, by the time you finish this video, you will understand deeply that your aura is not about being noticed, it's about being felt. And once you feel it, and once you own it, you will never again question your power, your influence, or your right to command the world around you. And you will leave this experience thinking, smiling, and whispering, I needed this. I want you to sit with this truth for a moment. The aura you carry is not something anyone else can manufacture for you, it is entirely yours. Born from the way you think, breathe, move, and perceive yourself in every single second of the day. It is forged in quiet moments, in the mornings you take for yourself, in the decisions you make to honor your energy rather than surrender it, in the discipline of choosing your thoughts, your presence, your attention, and your boundaries with precision. I have spent years observing women who walk through the world and never speak unnecessarily, yet have everyone leaning in, listening, noticing, and following cues they cannot articulate. They move with the effortless poise of someone who knows that every gesture, every micro-expression, every inflection of their voice is a signal of dominance and desire combined. And when they pass by, it leaves a ripple that lingers in a room long after they are gone. And let me tell you, the difference between an ordinary woman and a woman with this magnetic aura is not in beauty, in the designer shoes she wears, or in the fragrance she spritzes on her skin. It is in how she inhabits herself, how she treats her own presence as the most valuable asset she owns, how she commands attention without asking for it, and how she makes men and women alike feel that something extraordinary exists simply because she is there. I remember attending a luxury gala in Paris, crystal chandeliers glistening above, and noticing a young woman standing quietly by a corner. Her posture impeccable, her gaze calm yet arresting, her aura so vivid that everyone subtly shifted around her, seeking approval they didn't even know they were offering. And the fascinating part, Ish said barely a word. Her aura spoke before she did, and it was louder than any conversation in the room. And this is what I want you to understand. Aura mastery is not learned by imitation or advice alone. It is cultivated, consciously, deliberately, like a delicate instrument that must be tuned daily. When you invest in yourself, this way your posture, your gaze, your breathing, your emotional self come into you, step into a level of feminine influence that feels almost unfair. Because men feel it instinctively, and women recognize it subconsciously. And you will notice it immediately in the way your daily interactions shift, in the way strangers hesitate before crossing your path, in the way conversations bend subtly to include your insight. Because your presence is speaking a language the world cannot name. And as you hear this, I want you to start noticing it in yourself. Your chest lifts slightly. Your spine elongates. Your aura begins to whisper in subtle currents that you are no longer ordinary, that you are already extraordinary, and that every room you enter is now a stage for your mastery, whether you intend it or not. And I want you to subscribe, comment your biggest takeaway, and turn on notifications because these insights compound. And the more you engage, the more your presence amplifies,